I never imagined my life could twist into a nightmare so quickly. My name is Kamran, a man who once believed his world revolved around loyalty, trust, and love, pillars that seemed unshakable. Married to Aisha for nearly 15 years, we built a family rooted in tradition, respect, and hopes for the future. Our daughter Zara blossomed into a graceful young woman whose engagement to Imran, a promising young man, filled me with pride. Everything appeared flawless, a shining example of success and harmony. But beneath this polished surface, cracks hid in plain sight, invisible yet inevitable. That morning began like any other. Sunlight filtered softly through the curtains, casting a warm glow across our spacious living room. The aroma of fresh cardamom chai lingered in the air, mingling with the scent of jasmine from the garden outside. Aisha usually prepared breakfast early, her smile brightening the start of my day. Today, however, silence greeted me instead. "Where is she?" I muttered, glancing toward the kitchen. No sign of her humming or bustling. Zara entered the room, her face unusually pale, eyes avoiding mine. "Papa, I think Amma is still resting," she said cautiously, clutching a textbook close. I frowned but nodded. The engagement ceremony with Imran was only weeks away. The entire family was busy preparing invitations, outfits, and plans. Aisha was the heart of those arrangements, meticulous and enthusiastic. Her absence felt odd. As I sipped my chai, thoughts raced. Had she grown, tired, overworked, or unwell? The past months had been stressful, balancing her duties as a wife, mother, and homemaker. Still, I dismissed any worries. She was resilient. Later that day, I called her cell, only to hear it ring unanswered. Messages went unread. Small signs, piled up like dust on a forgotten shelf. Unopened doors, muffled whispers behind closed rooms, hurried footsteps silenced before reaching my ears. Zara's engagement to Imran had been a joyous occasion. Imran was everything one could hope for. Respectful, ambitious, caring. Watching them together, I believed in their future, in the promises they made beneath the canopy of stars. Yet lately, I noticed a subtle shift. Aisha's gaze sometimes lingered too long on Imran. Smiles shared between them occasionally carried an unfamiliar warmth. Innocent, I hoped. After all, I told myself, stress and excitement could explain strange behavior, but doubts crept, persistent as shadows at dusk. One evening, I overheard fragments of conversation. Voices hushed, words clipped, laughter too intimate for mere acquaintances. I strained to listen but caught only half-truths. My heart hammered with confusion and denial. Who was she talking to? What were they hiding? Determined to confront my fears, I asked Zara casually, "How's the wedding planning coming along?" Her smile faltered, fingers twisting the hem of her dress. "Everything's fine, Papa. Amma is busy, but she says she loves Imran like a son." I smiled, reassuring myself. Maybe these worries were baseless, echoes of my imagination. That night, Aisha finally emerged from her room, eyes red-rimmed, face pale. She avoided my gaze, slipping past me without a word. My concern deepened. "Is everything all right?" I called softly. She stopped, hands trembling. "I'm just tired, Kamran." But the distance between us grew like an invisible wall. Days passed. The house, once vibrant with laughter and chatter, fell silent. Zara confided in me that Aisha had started spending more time outside, late nights unexplained. Calls from unfamiliar numbers appeared on her phone. Secretive texts deleted hastily. I tried to speak to her directly, but she evaded questions, wearing a fragile mask of normalcy. One afternoon, while returning from work early, I noticed a car parked discreetly near the garden, Imran's vehicle. Curiosity overpowered me. Peeking through the window, I saw Aisha and Imran talking quietly, their bodies closer than appropriate, voices too low to hear but faces flushed. The warmth in their eyes made my blood freeze. I turned away, heart pounding like a frantic drum. Was this a nightmare or cruel reality? The family I cherished was fracturing, The people I trusted most were weaving a web of deception. The betrayal stung deeper than any wound. In that moment, I realized the perfect life I had built was crumbling, and nothing would ever be the same again. The air in the house felt heavier each day, as if every corner whispered secrets I was desperate not to hear. My heart had sensed the fissures long before my eyes confirmed them. Yet, when the truth finally crashed down, it tore through me like jagged glass. I couldn't escape the images replaying in my mind, the brief glimpse of Aisha and Imran together, their closeness far beyond a respectful mother-in-law and fiancé. The way her hand brushed his arm, the longing in their eyes, it shattered every illusion I had clung to. I decided to confront Aisha quietly at first. One evening, when the house was asleep, I approached her room, hesitating outside the door. Her muffled sobs broke the silence, raw and desperate. My heart wrenched. "Aisha," I whispered, voice trembling. "What's happening?" She didn't answer immediately, but after a long pause, the door creaked open. Her face was stained with tears, eyes red and pleading. "It's true," she admitted, voice cracking. "I never meant for this to happen. Imran, he came to me when I was lonely, when I felt invisible. I struggled to understand, to reconcile the woman I loved with the one confessing betrayal. Lonely? After everything? After us?" She looked away, ashamed. "You work so hard, Cameron. You're always busy with your job. Zara's growing up, and I felt forgotten." Her words stabbed at me. Was my devotion to family blinded me to her pain? Or was this simply a cruel excuse? Days later, I found Zara in tears, clutching her chest like the weight there was unbearable. "Papa," she sobbed, "I don't know if I can trust either of them anymore." Her words echoed my own torment. How could Imran, the man I had welcomed into our home, betray my daughter like this? How could Aisha, my wife, betray me and her own flesh and blood? Then came the revelation that broke me. The day I stumbled upon messages on Aisha's phone, texts between her and Imran, filled with passion and promises they had no right to make. Words like, "I need you," "only you," and "our secret," "forever," burned into my mind. I confronted Imran later, voice cold and numb. He looked away, shame flickering in his eyes, but no apology followed. "You don't know what you're talking about, sir," he said dismissively. But I knew. Their lust had poisoned everything. The woman I loved, the daughter I cherished, the man I had trusted, all intertwined in a betrayal too deep to ignore. One night, Aisha confessed more, trembling as she spoke. She told me about stolen moments, the way Imran's hands made her forget the loneliness she claimed, about whispered promises that had no place in our home. I listened, horrified and heartbroken, as she described their secret rendezvous, the lust that consumed them both. I wanted to scream, to lash out, but all I could do was feel hollow. Zara confronted her fiancé too. Imran's denial only intensified her pain. The man who swore to protect and love her had shattered her world. I watched my daughter crumble, her trust eroding into bitter tears. Yet amidst this ruin, Aisha's eyes pleaded for forgiveness, for understanding. She begged me not to leave, her, to find a way to save what remained of our family. But how? How could I forgive the woman who chose my daughter's fiancé over her own vows? The man who betrayed his future wife and me? The lust between them had ignited a firestorm, destroying everything in its path. I felt trapped between rage and sorrow, love and disgust. And the worst was yet to come. The fragile ruins of our family lay bare before me, but nothing prepared me for the next cruel blow. One rainy afternoon, Aisha sat across from me in the dim kitchen, her hands nervously clutching a tissue. Her eyes avoided mine, darting to the window as if searching for escape. The tension thickened the air, heavier than the clouds outside. "Cameron," she began hesitantly, voice barely above a whisper. "There's something I need to tell you." I braced myself, the weight of what I'd already endured anchoring my heart. "I'm pregnant," The words hit me like a thunderclap, reverberating through every fiber of my being. I blinked, unable to grasp the meaning immediately. "Pregnant?" I repeated, voice hollow. She nodded, tears welling up, her breath trembling. "But the child isn't yours." Time froze. The walls closed in. I swallowed the lump in my throat. The realization crashed like an avalanche. The baby growing inside her was Imran's, my daughter's fiancé. The betrayal compounded beyond words. "How?" I managed to choke out. "When?" She looked down, ashamed. "After one of their
secret meetings. I didn't want it, Cameron, but it happened. Now I'm scared, confused. I don't know what to do." My mind spun in chaotic storms.
The house I once called a sanctuary now felt like a prison. I thought of Zara, my sweet girl, preparing to marry the man who had betrayed her and impregnated her mother. How would she react? Could she forgive? Could any of us survive this? Aisha's next words shattered any remaining calm. "I want you to call the baby yours," she said softly, voice cracking. "For Zara's sake, for our family's sake, please." The request stunned me into silence. Call Imran's child mine? Carry this burden of deception? Protect the illusion of a family when it no longer existed? Her eyes searched mine desperately. "I'll explain everything. I'll do anything. But I can't face this alone." I sat motionless, heart pounding, against ribs like a frantic prisoner. Then came the storm. Zara found out. The revelation tore through her like a cruel wind. Her sobs echoed through the walls, raw and broken. The man she loved, her fiancé, had betrayed her most deeply. The woman she trusted as a mother had shattered her faith. Imran vanished, avoiding confrontations and calls. His silence spoke volumes. Our home became a battlefield of accusations, tears, and shattered dreams. Aisha begged for forgiveness, but I could only see the fissures between us widening. My anger boiled beneath a veneer of composure. How could lust and selfishness destroy what we had? I wanted to shield Zara, to mend her broken heart, but the weight of betrayal was suffocating. Days turned into nights of restless turmoil. The baby, growing inside Aisha, symbolized everything wrong, a living reminder of infidelity and shattered trust. Yet, amidst the chaos, I grappled with my own choices. Could I accept this child as my own, to protect Zara from further pain? Or would that be a lie too cruel to live with? The lines between love and duty blurred into confusion and despair. I looked at Aisha, the woman I once adored, now a stranger bearing secrets too heavy to carry alone. The family I fought to protect was unraveling, thread by painful thread, and I stood at the edge of a precipice, unsure whether to leap into forgiveness or let everything fall apart. The house was silent, but the weight of unspoken words pressed down harder than ever before. Every corner, every shadow seemed to remind me of what was lost: trust, love, innocence. The baby inside Aisha grew, a living symbol of betrayal, and yet also of life that demanded compassion. How could I reconcile such contradictions? Zara's eyes bore into me one afternoon, fierce with pain yet laced with desperation. "Papa, what will you do? Will you stand by us or let this destroy everything?" Her question lingered in the air, impossible to answer with certainty. I wrestled with memories, the laughter we shared, the celebrations, the dreams of a future that now seemed impossibly distant. I recalled Aisha's tears, her pleading gaze begging for understanding, and I felt my own heart fracture into pieces I wasn't sure could ever be whole again. After endless nights of turmoil, I made a decision born out of love, though bruised and battered. I would call the baby mine, not out of denial, but to shield Zara from further heartbreak, to keep a semblance of family intact. It was a sacrifice, a surrender of pride, but perhaps the only path toward healing. When I told Aisha, her relief was palpable. She clung to me, whispering promises to rebuild what was broken, to be honest and faithful henceforth. Whether those promises would hold, only time would tell. Zara, wounded yet resilient, struggled to forgive but remained by our side, her strength inspiring me daily. Imran disappeared from our lives, a ghost of the past we tried to bury. Months passed. The baby was born, a fragile bundle of innocence untouched by the chaos that preceded its arrival. Holding him, I felt an unexpected surge of protectiveness, a father's love emerging despite the tangled web of deceit. The journey ahead was uncertain. Our family was forever changed, the scars of lust and betrayal etched deeply. Yet, amid the pain, we discovered a fragile hope, that love, even when shattered, could be mended with courage, forgiveness, and time. Looking back, I realize life is unpredictable, cruel even. Those we trust can wound us profoundly. But healing begins when we choose to face truth, accept imperfection, and hold on to hope. This story, mine, is one of heartbreak, betrayal, and lust, yes, but also of redemption, resilience, and the complicated, messy love that binds us all.